It's time now for a look at latest in local news. In the news, a Wayne County student remains in an Augusta hospital today attempting to recover from serious head trauma following a fight which took place Monday at the high school cafeteria. Jesup police report the victim was transported to Augusta for medical treatment due to head trauma. The other boy's been arrested and charged with aggravated battery, was taken to a juvenile detention center. Both boys are juveniles and names have not been released, but with everyone having cell phones, a video of the fight has been put out for general consumption. It's a very disturbing video. One boy body slams the other boy to the cafeteria floor, and the boy does not move. EMTs are called into the scene. Again, the boy was rushed to Wayne Memorial Hospital, but immediately flown to Augusta. Once again, this took place Monday during lunch at the high school cafeteria here in Wayne County. One boy in Augusta Hospital with head trauma. The other boy, again, in the juvenile detention center, facing a charge of aggravated battery. Case of the state of Georgia versus former Justice Police Officer Stephen Wright is underway in courtroom C. And on Monday afternoon, a jury of 6 men and 6 women listened to the opening arguments in the case. Former officer faces a 10-count indictment with serious charges, including improper sexual conduct by an employee, violation of oath of office, aggravated sexual battery, to name a few. He's represented by defense attorney Adrian Browning and Alan Tucker, who told the jury in her opening statement that, quote, be aware of girls who will do anything to get out of trouble, end quote. Browning says those are not her words, but the words of one of the alleged victims in the case. Browning says her client is a decorated 10-year police veteran whose job was to get drugs off the streets of Wayne County. She says that's exactly what he has done in his career. She asked the jury to pay close attention, as they are the ones who will decide credibility of witnesses. At the end of her opening statement, though, she told the jury that at the time of these allegations, Officer Wright was in a bad place in his life and bad place with his marriage, spent most of his time at his job. She says he will take the witness stand and give his side of the story. He says he unfortunately took the bait and had consensual sex with one of the alleged victims, and instead of coming clean with the police department at the GBI, kept to his story of denial because he was trying to keep both his family and job, and he knew that if the story came out that he most likely would lose both. Browning said in her opening statement that her client is innocent of the charges. She says he did not break any laws. She did say that she most likely would not argue that he probably did not say or do some inappropriate things, and she probably would agree he probably should not be a police officer and should have lost his job. But she states that he is innocent of all the charges against him. And again, she told the jury that he did not break any laws. Browning says one of the alleged victims had a direct plan, which ended in a big payoff. But she told the jury that the person, after winning a big payoff and having all the charges against her family dropped, still had to be arrested and is currently in jail in order to testify this week. That alleged victim is Marley LaRoche. Browning says Officer Wright and his fellow officers made a big drug bust and confiscated a lot of stolen property at a 6th Street address that Browning says the jury will hear about during the trial. Also, that the victims were used as confidential informants as they were lobbying to get out of trouble. Browning says there's a pattern in this case in which the alleged victims claim to have received a lot of text messages from her client, but will not be able to produce any during the trial. She told the jury their client did not break the law and again is innocent of all the charges. State's case is being presented to the jury by Assistant DA Nigel Lush. He told the jury that the 3 alleged victims in the case have a few things in common. 1, they are in a bad place in their life, and some are addicts. And 2, that they had the misfortune of running into Detective Stephen Wright, who the Assistant DA told the jury used his badge and influence to gain sexual favors from the victims. Key witness in the case will be former Justice Police Officer and now City Council member Jonathan McCullough, who was Officer Stephen Wright's partner. He, along with others from the Jesup PD on the witness list, including former Jesup Police Chief Mike Lane, current Police Chief Chris Hamilton, Officer Alex Reddish, Nick Ellis, now City Manager at the time with the Jesup PD, and all on the state's witness list. Assistant DA Lush laid out the state's case and talked about the 3 ladies who will testify in the case. He says only 1 of 3 has turned her life around. The other 2 still struggling with their addiction. But Lush says the Officer Wright used that to his advantage and abused his authority as an officer of the law. At the end of his opening statement, asked that the jury listen to the evidence presented and come back with guilty verdicts at the end of the trial. Once again, testimony is set to begin this morning at 9 a.m. WIFO fan will be in court, have a full report on Wednesday's newscast. Once again, former Justice Police Officer Stephen Wright on trial, facing a 10-count criminal indictment. And these charges date back to the year 2020. It's been 4 years for this case to get to the inside of the courtroom. Defense attorney Browning says her client felt sorry for these ladies who were addicts and in bad situations at home. Again, she says her client's innocent of the charges. Once again, a jury of 6 women and 6 men have been selected as a jury. There are 2 alternates selected, 1 man, 1 woman. And testimony again this morning at 9 a.m. Superior Court Judge Burt Guy on the bench presiding over the court proceedings and trial. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Early voting for the Democratic and Republican primaries are underway and runs for 3 weeks here in Wayne County up until May 17th, with the primary date set for Tuesday, May 21st. On Monday here in Wayne County, 111 voters voted, 101 Republicans, 8 Democrats, and 2 nonpartisan. Early voting taking place at the county's new election building located at 306 East Pine Street. Time of early voting is Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. There are 2 Saturdays of early voting, this Saturday, May 4th, and Saturday, May the 11th. The time of Saturday early voting is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Once again, note the new location, the county's new election building, located at 306 East Pine Street, adjacent to the Tax Commissioner's office. Once again, primary date is Tuesday, May 21st. All voting precincts open that day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Then the votes will be tabulated and winners announced. 3 men are running for the office of sheriff in the county, including incumbent Chuck Mosley, challengers Donnie Ray and Toby Cameron. If there's a runoff, that runoff date is scheduled for June the 18th. And we here at WIFO encourage all registered voters to get out and vote. Again, today's time from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wayne County Board of Education set to meet tonight at 6 p.m. at the Tech Center for their monthly board meeting. On the agenda, public participation under resolutions recognitions. The Good as Gold recognition will be from the maintenance and transportation departments. Items of business, capital outlay projects, bus safety information, several board policies, a financial report, and an executive session to discuss personnel. All that today at 6 p.m. at the Tech Center. This Thursday is National Day of Prayer, and the Wayne County community is invited to a special ceremony, which is set for 12 noon at the Wayne County Courthouse in downtown Jesup. Dale Baines will give the opening prayer, and prayers will be offered for the following groups. Nick Ellis will give a prayer for government, Brooks Haddock for the military, Tim Horn for business, Keith Laracy for first responders, Pete Boyd for churches, Tom Maddox for the media, Scott Hatton for families, Devin Mixon for education. Once again, the program is scheduled for 12 noon Thursday at the Wayne County Courthouse as Wayne County celebrates National Day of Prayer. Again, everyone is invited to attend. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes and news, a couple of events taking place this weekend. Friday night at the Pine Forest Country Club, the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce having their first annual fundraising gala called A Night on the Island. Feature a second chance band. Again, tickets are available at the Chamber. There are $50 for members, $75 for non-members. Everyone's invited to attend. And they can have flamingo pool, raffles, live and silent auctions, and hors d'oeuvres. Again, the second chance band performing. Again, that's set for this Friday night, May 3rd at 6 p.m. at the Pine Forest Country Club. Then on Saturday, the Wayne County Board of Tourism carrying over their second annual Jesup Porch Fest. The time from 1 to 5 p.m. set for the historic Old Town Jesup District. This year's event has had great response from artists. Will include the streets of Brunswick, Cherry, Plum, Wayne, and Bay Streets, and will spread out to include Elm and Hickory Streets. This year's musical offerings feature both local and out-of-town talent for participants to enjoy. Visitors to the event are encouraged to travel by car to the Elm and Hickory sites, then come back to the central event area for the rest of the afternoon. Golf carts and bicycles also are welcome. Also, chairs are encouraged to maximize the enjoyment of the entertainment. There are 16 host homes and churches with 17 performances planned. A map with times, places, and designated parking areas will be available for visitors and information. 10 hosted by Interstate Credit Union will be set up on the corner of Brunswick and Plum Streets. Additional information may be found on the Tourism Board's Facebook page. And the Tourism Board's Planning Committee invites everyone out to enjoy the Jesup Porch Fest set for Saturday, May 4th from 1 to 5 p.m. The Old Town Jesup, Heather Altman, Tourism Board Director, will be here Thursday with more details about the Porch Fest set for this weekend. That's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, have a great day.